Hey guys, kipping pull-ups can be one of the most fun things to develop in the CrossFit gym if you're ready for them. It's super fun to start using them in workouts so you can start keeping up with everybody else in class, but it's also really cool to see people go from having 40 or so kipping pull-ups into the 60 plus number range. So what we're looking for as a prerequisite for playing around with kipping pull-ups in the first place is developing your strength to be able to do at least 3 strict pull-ups. The reason this is important is think about how often we max our lifts in the gym. It's not very often. Maxing out, we work up to that, and maxing out puts a lot of strain and stress on our body, our muscles and tissues, and our connective tissues. So to recover from maxing out, it takes a while. So if we are at our limits and the max number of strict pull-ups we can do is 1, and then we start adding kipping to it, then we're working at way too close to your maximum capacity that we're not going to be able to get in the volume that we want to get in to really practice the kip without putting too much muscle stress and damage and tissue damage on those joints through the practice. So we really need that minimum of 3 strict pull-ups before we start taking the time to really dig in and try and develop our kip. So if you're not at that 3 strict pull-up range yet, go ahead. In our program, we have different levels, and put your priority on developing the upper body strength to get that. Once you have those 3 strict pull-ups, then let's start playing around with our kipping progressions. We see a lot of people who have between 20 and 40 pull-ups change those numbers up to 40, 60 plus. Once we start filling in the gaps on where areas of the kip are missing. So really, as long as you have more than 3 strict pull-ups, we can really help a lot of people develop that extra technique that not only transfers into more kipping pull-ups, but transfers into everything else we do in here. So that's what we're doing with MovementLink. We're showing you how posture, the squat, the push-up, and the jump, and developing all of our movement off of those things links together and transfers to everything else. So what are we going to learn, or what's going to happen from this program? We're going to increase your number of strict pull-ups, and we're going to increase your number of kipping pull-ups. So keys to success when we're talking about kipping, number 1 is going to be shoulder position. So if my shoulder is out of position or my spine has spinal faults going on in my movement, I'm leaving potential out on the table. So in our program, we're going to address these issues and show you how to get into the best positions possible. That way you're getting absolutely every bit of potential out of your body. We can break it down into 3 pieces. The swing, where we're going from arch to hollow. The hip drive, where we're throwing our hips up. And then the actual pull-up. Each of those accounts for roughly 1/3 of your potential. Where we see a lot of potential is developing the shoulder and body positions through the strict pull-up, and we can clean up and get a little more potential out of that strict pull-up section. And then the hip drive is a huge place. So we see it all the time. People who are good at pull-ups, they stop kind of working on them, but we take people from 40 to that 60 plus number all the time, teaching them how to link these 3 things into each other. So in part 2, what we're going to discuss is how to practice for this. And then in the program coming up, we're going to show a bunch of drills and a bunch of progressions that you can use to learn and develop each of these 3 pieces that are super important in developing your kipping pull-ups. All right, talk to you guys soon.